Hello everyone, we're back. I wanted to thank you guys for all the awesome feedback and the many of you that were really excited to see an upload for me. I know it was very out of the blue when I uploaded a video about the RS3 Steam release after not making a video in years. No one was really expecting it, not even myself, and I made the video. Since that video went up, I've been playing RS3 for the past couple of days, and I'm mostly working on a rebuild. I didn't come back to this game with absolutely nothing, but for the most part our focus is making money and also checking out the new content. So this is just the stuff that I've been working on the past couple of days. I will say I got a pretty sweet drop already, just beginner's luck to coming back to the game. But you'll see all that in this video, and please, if you're in game, stop by the friends chat and say hi. I'd love to talk to you guys in there. And I also wanted to apologize for the mic quality during this video. You're going to hear quite a few snaps and crackles and pops in the background, and it's just because the mic I'm using right now is just a really cheap headset. But I will work on getting that resolved as soon as I can. Okay, we're back pretty much just from where we left off. And I think the first order of business for a rebuild, or a comeback of any time, is probably to start making some money. And that of course starts with getting membership. I'm on old school because that's where my money is, and I just looked at the price of bonds and these are absolutely insane. I've never seen a bond this high before. And I think for starting to make money I need two different ways of doing it. The first is like an active way when I'm actually playing and have time, and then the second is going to be what's a decent way of making some AFK / low intensity GP while I'm in virtual lecture. And I think the Runescape wiki is a pretty good place to start. It's definitely not a complete list. There's probably lots and lots of really great money making methods that aren't on here, but I think it's a good starting point, and I've used this list a lot, whether on old school or RS3, just for some like ideas. So I'll look through here and see if there's a couple things I can find, that are both AFK and then also something I can actually do for money. And then there's a lot of Slayer bossing. So I'm thinking I might try to get a Slayer assignment and try to get some sort of boss related to that. Dagonos would be great. Doing some God Wars dungeon would be great, but there's a lot of different bosses that you can do via Slayer. Okay, there's the first Slayer task done. Man, it is so easy to make money now. That was maybe 30 minutes, slightly more, 1.4 mil. That's a really good start. I do have a decent amount of Slayer points, so I'm probably going to skip and try to find a boss or some kind of PVM that we could do to start making some real money. Well, that's more like it. I'm assuming rune dragons are still pretty insane money. Okay, I just finished up killing money dragons for about an hour, and I couldn't keep track of exactly how much we got in drops because I did whip out the spring cleaner and I set it on alch mode, and I was just alching all the rune drops, so I didn't have to bother with picking them up. But I estimate that it was about 70k a kill, so we made a few mil in doing that task. Okay, so based on the recommendation of some people in the friends chat, one of the best ways to kind of AFK low intensity make money is by going to the Sunken Pyramid and putting some monsters in your own personal Slayer dungeon. There's a bunch of different monsters that you can do. Some of the better ones in the wiki at least are crystal shapeshifters, some of the monsters that drop the ascension signets, or the ascension keys I guess. Those can be really good. There's quite a few options to choose from, but the first step is to get started with the Slayer dungeon and start adding some souls in here so you can actually use it. Okay, after doing some research, it seems like Capsarius are probably one of the best ways to go for the personal Slayer dungeon, just because they're going to be really, really easy to kill, and there's not really a whole lot to worry about with them. They hit so poorly they can't really kill you. The only struggle is apparently getting their souls is actually somewhat rare, and the spawns in the dungeon itself are really spread out, so this might take a while. Oh, maybe not. I already got the first one, and that only took 2 kills. Okay, that's the 5th one. That honestly wasn't that bad. It took less than half an hour. Okay, I'm setting up my 5 Capsari in the large room in my own personal Slayer dungeon. And all I need to do in order to make, I don't know, around 4 or 5 mil an hour or so is just stand in the middle here, drink an aggression potion, drink an overload, and then just let myself go to town. The spring cleaner should take care of all the battle staffs and stuff and send those to the bank, and then I'll just check back every once in a while to pick up any keys on the ground. And we just did a quick 15 minutes of the Capsarius before bed, and this is the loot, these battle staves, and I probably got fairly lucky on keys given the extremely short amount of time I was there, but that's almost 3 mil in 15 minutes. That's really, really good. So I'm going to sell off this and the loot from the rune dragons and get our first upgrade of the day so far. Okay, it turns out the upgrade I wanted is actually a lot more expensive than I thought it was going to be. So I sold off the Dragors for now. I'll buy them back, or probably buy some other kind of melee weapon, to be honest, in the future when we have a little bit more money. But the thing that I want to get right now is the Armadillo armor set. I don't know if it's better to buy this. I don't need the buckler, but I can just sell it back. But I do want all the other pieces because they're going to be really nice for camping these monsters for a while. What you're seeing here is I was able to coordinate getting the munclesonkey name back on my main character. One of my friends had very kindly been willing to hold it for me for a couple of years on one of his alt accounts. So what we needed to do is we just needed to take 2 bonds. One to get that account membership, because you can't change the name unless you're a member. And then the second bond was to change it again, because if you change a name 2 times, that's what clears it immediately, because otherwise you have to wait, I believe it's a month before you can use the name again. So we were able to do that. I paid for one of the bonds, he paid for the other, and the munclesonkey name is now back on my main guy. Okay, so I'm just finishing up my second overload and aggression flask, doing these Capsarius in the morning, and my real crossbow just gained a level and it's level 12, so I'm going to siphon it. So I've been doing these for, I guess, a little bit over an hour, and our luck with keys is definitely not what it was when I tried this out for 15 minutes last night. I got less than, what would that be, like an hour and 20 minutes or so? Probably around that time, but I got less keys in that time than I did in 15 minutes, but that's okay. And I kind of had the idea that if I'm going to be camping these Capsarius for a long time, we could just sell the keys, and that's pretty good money per hour, but also killing legions right now is supposed to be fairly good profit based on average luck. So what I may end up doing is actually using these keys myself and trying to make an Ascension crossbow, and that way we would get some bossing and pet chance, and there's all kinds of good stuff about actually using the keys ourselves, and who knows, maybe we would have made more money just selling the keys, but I might try doing that if I build up a decent store of keys. So far doing this method in the player on Slayer Dungeon has been super nice for class. You really only have to click once every couple minutes to drink your overload, or flick soul split on or off for a little while, or pick up a key drop if you get one, but it is amazing for listening to lecture or working on assignments. Quite a few people in the FC have been asking me what I'm majoring in. So if you're curious, the answer is I'm doing Geographic Information Systems. This is my final year of it, and I'm planning on going into grad school afterwards, so school is not going to be done for me. I changed my major around when I was in school. I was really close to graduating with a finance degree, and I ended up switching it out for something that I have been enjoying a lot more. Okay, so after camping at the Capsari for, I don't know, about 2.5 hours while working on my lab this morning, this is our loot. I just wanted to price check it and see how we're doing. We could, definitely make this better money per hour by upgrading our gear and such. But at least for the first little bit, this is our loot so far. About 7 mil. Not crazy impressive. It's also worth noting I should probably remove the battle staffs, because a battle staff is about the same price as a spring, and it uses 1 spring every time it breaks down a battle staff. So a little under around 6.8 mil is probably our final price check for that. Another thing you guys have really clued me in on, and thank you for that, is doing some shop runs. I'm probably not going to go buy every single rune, every single feather, every single item from every shop that could potentially make money, but I think hitting at least a couple of the major rune shops, such as the Baba Yaga one and the Mages Guild one, are a really good idea, just because the runes are worth way more in the GE than they are on here. Like those soul runes, for example, cost 41k to buy, and then if we price check them, they're probably going to be worth significantly more than that. Yeah, they're worth about 260k. That's just insane. So I can buy these runes, but then I can also use them to make Viswax, which is another great way to make money. Okay, that does it for the daily run. A few minor notes, as I did cap on divine locations here in Prif. I didn't really do the most efficient ones for GP. I did some herbs too, and then that one died, and then I did some rocktails. I just didn't really want to spend 20 minutes hopping around to find the absolute best one. So we spent about 1.4 mil cash out of the coin pouch, and this is all of the loot that we ended up with, about 3.8 mil. You can probably add another couple 100k on that, because I have a bunch of other herbs and stuff in my bank. So that's about 4 mil minus the 1.4 we spent. So about 2.6 mil profit. Didn't really take hardly any time at all. The only other thing is I didn't do the Al-Kharid rune shop, and that would probably add a few 100K profit to the value of the daily run. But if we search my bank, I don't have any Gree-Grees. I guess I must have dropped them at some point. I really have absolutely no idea what would have inspired me to do that at the time, but I didn't really have the energy to go get Gree-Grees and make them and do that long run right now, so I'll handle it at some point. But for now, we're just going to stick with the rune shops that we can access. Okay, another quick thing accomplished. I just finished off the archaeology tutorial. I'm level 5 and I'm ready to start doing some archaeology, which I think has a couple of benefits. First of all, it's something that's really AFK, so it's easy to do during class. It's not necessarily great money to start with, but it can become pretty good money as you level up and get into the higher, I was hearing kind of the 80 to 90 ranges when you start making some really solid money from doing archaeology. There's access to new perks. And of course, getting our max cape back is another thing that's just really going to help out. And another really quick unlock that we can do is we can stop by Warrior's Retreats and unlock the teleport here, which is one of the best teleports in the game because it's just a teleport in your magic skill book. I'm assuming it'll be added in here. And it teleports you straight to a bank without having to go into your lodestone network, without having to use any quick charges. It's going to be really nice. So you spend boss kills, I guess, to unlock this stuff. Is this going to take away from my boss kills I have? No, it just counts them as a total. Okay, so I guess we can unlock all of these things here. We might as well. So we unlock another portal. We unlock, I'm assuming this is just a prayer recharge altar. I'm not entirely sure what the adrenaline crystal and potion are yet, but we'll unlock them and then figure that out later. Might as well unlock anything. I have the boss kills for it. And yeah, now we have a teleport right in our spellbook, and there's a bank chest right there, which is super, super nice. I'm probably going to be using this a lot in the future. Hopefully I can remember that it's there and stop having to use like the archaeology journal or other various means of teleporting to a bank. Okay, it's a couple hours later, and I finally found the 4th page to open up this massive door inside the first dig site. For some reason, the first 3 pages I found almost instantaneously. It took hardly any time, and then the 4th page, well, I was working on this from 17 to almost 30 archaeology. Okay, this should be the right order if we press this button, and apparently opening up this prison door and solving this mystery is going to give us access to a later area, so it's important to get this mystery done early, because then you can come back and go further into the dig site later. And now I'm going to go out work on a different mystery in the Infernal Source, which we could start from level 20, but we had to stay here until we got all of those pages. So in an effort to clear some bank space and also in an effort just to make things look a little bit nicer, I've been trying to sell off this junk tab here in the very first tab of my bank. I wasn't really expecting much out of it. Almost all the stuff is really just like leftovers from the really big PVM tab I had a few years ago, and I think 4 or 5 years ago a lot of these materials and gems and stuff were worth pretty much nothing. But now with the insane price of herbs and logs and gems and almost everything, this is actually selling for a pretty good amount of money. Yeah, I can distinctly remember desert goat horns, trying to sell these like 5 years ago after doing a whole bunch of corp, and you could put them in for like, an absolutely minuscule amount of money and they would not sell no matter what you do. And now, that's just a free 1.5 mil out of that. Okay, I must admit I didn't do my Reaper task yesterday. I honestly didn't even feel like doing it. But we got a new one today. It's Commander Ziliana. Should be a nice easy one. And I figured, hey, why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? We could start to fill up some of these guys with some Spiritual Warrior souls, because those I've heard are also really good money in the Personal Slayer dungeon. Okay, this should be the end of the task. That didn't take very long. No real drops to note. I got some Raynars and some Unicorn Horns, which, pay for the instance cost, and that's about it. So let's nab another task really quick here. Telos, I don't think we quite have the gear for that, but I've heard that below 100% in rage it's not that bad, so as soon as we get a tier 90 mage weapon we can definitely try that out. So I'll try something different. Yes please. Queen Black Dragon. Okay, that should be a quick and easy one. But the main reason I want to do these Reaper tasks, even though the individual loot from each task might not be that great, is here, check this out. Hydrix right now have a GE value of about 55 mil. That is insane. And look at this spike. They just like went up an absolutely colossal amount recently. It looks like they're starting to drop. So we should get one of these soon. That last Reaper task I did wasn't that many points. But if we get better bosses and we don't skip a bunch of tasks to get them, it shouldn't take that long to get a Hydrix. It's maybe a couple of weeks. and 55 mil is our reward, which could, you know, maybe shoot us to a place where we can start to afford some tier 90 weapons. So that's the goal. That's the goal right now. Okay, one thing I really did want to do in this video was get like a nice, big, juicy boss killing PVM goal. I canceled a couple tasks at Morvran, and it looks like we can do 260 Dagonauth here, which I will gladly take. That's a lot of DKs, but thankfully with the new boss portal we can just teleport right to him. Okay, and there's our first drop. We're not even very far into the DK's task. I'm only on my 3rd overload dose, and there's the Dragon Hatchet. Oh my god. Is that the pet? Did I really just get a pet drop? My very first, like, PVM task back to RS3? That's insane, dude. I definitely was not expecting that at all. I believe this is my 2nd DK's pet out of the 3. But yeah, that's a really nice surprise. And there's our 2nd Dragon Hatchet, which came right at the end of the instance, so it's perfect timing. Okay, so at the end of that DK's trip, I wanted to price check our loot and see what we got. So this is everything that we got from 1 hour at DK's. 126 kills, judging by the hide, which is right on the drop rate of a hatchet, I think. But we got kind of lucky because we got a 2nd hatchet as well. So we throw everything in there. That's 8.4 mil in an hour. Supply costs are pretty low. I think it was like 150k for an instance, and we used a few overloads. But you know, that's around 8 mil profit in an hour. And even if you take out the extra D hatchet we got, you know, 5.6 mil an hour. That's not too bad. So I wanted to end off this first progress video by just kind of going over a few things. I think I'm learning a lot of money making methods in RS3. I'm really enjoying archaeology so far. I'm not super far into it, but it is like the perfect skill to do while I'm in lectures and stuff. It's super AFK, and it's also pretty fun with all the mysteries and everything too. So as far as a goal, what I should be going for, I have a rough idea in my head. I kind of feel like getting tier 90 weapons and then perking them up is probably the best way to go. However, I'm also super open to suggestion. If that's not the best way to go, feel free to let me know. I haven't played this game really in over 4 years, so that's just kind of going with my gut, my best instinct. But I have gotten a lot of really cool feedback from everyone who's been joining the friends chat, tips on how to make money, tips on what's the best thing to do right now. Going for archaeology is something a lot of people are saying, like, hey, this is really good money, there's really good perks that you can get from it when you get to the high levels, so that's something I'm going to be pushing on. But aside from that, like, just let me know. I will say I don't necessarily want to just like find one boss that's like the optimum best money per hour I could be making right now and just grind the crap out of it. I really would like to kind of try out a lot of the new content. Elite Dungeons is definitely something I want to try out in the near future. And all these other bosses and skilling methods and Big Game Hunter will be something I will be doing. But I really want to just try out everything and see what's fun, what's enjoyable to do, and what's not. I wanted to thank you guys for watching. I really don't have much of a plan or a schedule for when I would be making another one of these progress videos. I'll be out of town for the next few days, so I won't be on for a little while, but when I come back, I'll be playing gradually throughout the next couple weeks or so, and expect to see another progress video coming to you soon. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.